Welcome to another episode of Max Shoots Film. This week we pick up where we left off last week in northern Idaho. It's going to be a big day. We head to the Grand Tetons. Well, good morning. Day 5 in the yurt with my chick Danny. What's up? So today we totally missed sunrise. I mean, it was like we'd have to get up at 3:30 in the morning. My alarm didn't go off. When it did go off, it was too cold and we're lazy. Actually, it's been a long trip. So our plan today is to take our time driving to, I think it's the Mormon Barn down in southern Grand Tetons. And then we'll stop in Jackson, but just shoot along the way. I'm gonna take the Pentax 6.7. I'll probably shoot a lot of LOMO 400 in that. I'll rate it at 200 ISO. And then of course I'll shoot the Leica M5 and I'll bring the glass that I have, the 35, 50, and 90. And then Danny will be shooting probably a disposable camera and an instant camera. She's gonna shoot her Nikon today and probably some Zeiss glass. So that'll be cool to see what she can do with that. But
TA Molten Barn.
TA Molten Barn is the name of the barn right there. But for some reason on Google Maps, it lists it as Mormon Barn. So if you put Mormon Barn in Google Maps, you'll find it that way as well. Okay, I'm gonna pack up. Let me show you what I'm packing for today and the bags that I'm using. All right, so first of all, a random bag, Mosiso. These are hard shell on the top. Open up like this and you can carry a ton of crap. So Danny has one where we carry a bunch of like cables. The medium formats go in here. You'll see the Sheikah mat 124G, the Pentax 6.7 goes here, and a bunch of other stuff. Then I've got one myself, a bag in a bag. It's the inception of bags. I've got a bunch of lenses in here and I use these lens cases. I've got Leicas in here in socks. It's like a Leica M6 is in a sock. A Leica M5 is in a sock. I hope they're clean socks. And then I also use lens bags for a Nikon FM3A and a Nikon FE2. Got some Leica glass there and more Nikon glass, Sony glass. Yeah. And then there's the big guy. He's going for a ride today. I carry my Leica in this. It's the Hex Ranger Sling. It's an amazing bag. It can carry pretty much everything. So when you're on the road and you want to be able to access your camera in 2 lenses pretty fast and convenient and easy, I really love this. I have the mini version of this and it's awesome for even when you want to go even lighter with just one camera body and one lens. And then of course we're using the Manfrotto. This carries the drone. So drone, Leica, that's for walking around the street. These usually stay wherever we camp at or stay at, and we pull out of that. So that's a little insight to how we packed for this trip, the bags we use, and why we use them. All right, let's hit the road. On my travels, I never attempt to take the best photo ever. Just put myself in a good position to capture what it felt like to be there. These are memories we're making. I feel like people place too much importance on taking photos other people will like instead of taking photos they like. These are your memories. This is how you'll remember where you were. That's yes.
Okay. What makes this a yes?
I like the foreground with the house and then the background of the mountains. I really love flying the drone on my trips. It gives a whole nother perspective to where I am, allows me to see the unseen. Unfortunately, recently my drone broke. Time to rebuy. All right, so we've made it to, I think it's TA Molten Barn, Grand Tetons in Wyoming. We're gonna try to grab a shot. We missed this at sunrise. I'm gonna give everyone a moment to get the F out of the way in the front of the barn, grab a shot. The mountains behind are absolutely beautiful. And then we're just gonna walk around and take photos of the property. Gonna run the 6.7 with LOMO 400, shot at 200 ISO. And let's see what we can do. I'm gonna overexpose a little bit because there is a shadow on the front of the barn, and hopefully pull it down in post. All right, so this is really difficult to capture. I'm using the 105 millimeter, which is about a 50-ish equivalent in 35 millimeter. And the goal is to expose for the shadows on the front of the building and have it where a spire's not sticking out of the back of the barn as much as possible. Have it kind of centered between the main spires. So let's get low and try to knock it out. I may do a pano. That's what I'm gonna do, is a pano. Nikon F3. Girl's been shooting freaking Instax and Kodak Fun Saver instant camera. All right, so I know I shot the Tetons in the background of the barn, but I really wanted one just of the mountains. I had the fence in the foreground, shooting at around, that was f/16, 1/25 of a second. I metered for the high parts because I want it to be super dramatic with the shadows, high contrast, because it's a really boring sky. All right, and so in this composition, I see a bunch of layers leading into the hills/mountains in the distance. So the layers being each one of the barn's roofs. I see 3 of them here and the fence line. I'm gonna shoot it in portrait orientation to capture as much of it as possible. I'm gonna meter for the shadows around f/11. Okay, so we just pulled off, snapped a couple more shots from this overlook. And I have been remembering to lock my shutter on the Pentax 6.7, and that has saved my butt. When you only have 10 exposures, you want to save every one. And I am inadvertent shutter press McGee for sure. So I really love that on the 6.7. I just want to put that public service announcement out there for any of you that struggle with that as well. All right, guys, let's hit the road. All right, so we've just entered the park officially. It's packed. It's 83 degrees, which is beautiful, being a Phoenician. And what we're doing is heading to Jenny Lake, see if we can't grab a few shots there. The light's pretty decent, even though it's harsh. The angle it's at is lighting the peaks pretty well. So hopefully that carries over to the lake, but we'll see when we get there. An amazing shot right down the alleyway, framed by the trees. Hopefully it looks great. What do you think?
Again, my eyes are watering.
Your eyes are watering?
Yeah, I swear.
And that's a wrap on today's episode. The road trip continues. We head on to Yellowstone Park and Devil's Tower. See you next episode.